Welcome back for another OG Show Live. Mr. Randall, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down.
Welcome back to another episode of Bass Fishing for News.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to, once again, the Bass Kayak Team.
Brother, this is the final cast.
Another segment of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the paddle pin.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Feather and Fur. Your host, Brad.
Welcome back to the Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Crystal.
Hey, welcome back to Off the Water.
Happy
Susie Q here with Adventures of Outdoor Woman podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast.
We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Eastport Marina on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, go to eastport.info. Yak Gadget. For all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs, go to yakgadget.com. What's going on? Facebook Live, YouTube, ladies and gentlemen listening on the podcast platforms, welcome back. Mr. Randall?
Mr. Schiller.
Good to see you as always, my friend.
You too, bud.
I know we took last week off. We did a special airing episode that Jimmy did on the Reel Down with Drew Gregory after all that fuzz around his BASS win. So Drew kind of got to tell his story and his side of things, and it was pretty interesting, man. Hopefully you guys listened to it and have been able to listen to both sides, and I think you're going to see a big change in the rules next year from a couple of organizations to eliminate some gray areas, which is much needed, you know? So good stuff. Thoughts on that, Jay? Yeah, he doesn't care.
That's not it at all.
Yeah.
No, I followed it and everything. It's interesting, you know. And Drew's right. You know, I mean, he's playing in bounds, so to speak, and literally. But Drew's gonna seek out those spots that he shines in, and that's one of those areas.
Sure. Sure.
So.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Good stuff. But enough of that. We got a great show tonight. We got Jacob Frazier, head coach of the Carson-Newman Kayak Fishing Team. I didn't even know we made it to the collegiate level yet. So this is super cool, super interesting. These guys are actually fishing the championship this weekend on Lake Hartwell. And so we're going to talk a little bit of that, talk about the program, how it got started. Seems like it's going to be expanding going into next year. They got a few schools involved now. I know there's some, if you got a young lad or lady that loves kayak fishing, they got some opportunities available. So you guys may want to stick around and listen to that. But it's super cool to see kayak fishing, like obviously we got all the national trails and the club trails and stuff like that, but seeing it on a college level is pretty cool, man. I'm like super happy to see this. I don't know if you got any thoughts on that, Jay.
No, I mean, it's actually, it's a great thing because that it's going to, everybody's pushing for it to, go to the pro level, right? And that's
sure
always been kind of the struggle. Like you've got your pros, but it's not like watching MLB or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, and that's where you want to see it up there, as high as something like that, along up there with, Bassmasters, what I mean, like televised and, advertised and everything else that, big fishing events usually get. So I think with the addition of other colleges and, and as the sport grows, because as we've always said, this hasn't even hit its peak yet. It's still, like it has moments and then it dies down and, and then it climbs a little bit more. And a lot of things are involved with that. I mean, it could just be like the regular, real world environment that we're all in. It's just not on the top of everybody's mind. Go fishing like maybe it was at one time, where your mind could be a little freer, you know what I mean? Like a little more relaxed.
Sure.
But I mean, either way though, it's like the more and more this stuff happens, the bigger it's going to get. And then eventually you're going to definitely have like that level. And one day you'll see this stuff on TV,
Yeah.
just like you will anything else.
Well, and then the pro side will have something to pull anglers from,
Yep.
feeder teams, which would be at the collegiate level.
Yep.
Dwayne Wally in the house. What's up, my friend? He sent me a picture of a really nice buck. He's hoping to put down. I'm excited for him. I hope he gets it too, because it's a giant. So,
but I was going to say one thing, like that's an important, detail as well, is that like with the collegiate level or the collegiate teams that will be created along the way, then you're going to have like your so-called farm teams, right? And once it reaches the big stage, you've got somewhere to pull from, or build other teams or do whatever.
Yeah, totally. Facebook users in the house. I don't know who Facebook user is, but it says, was thinking today about asking you guys to do a podcast on starting a trail, get some tournament directors and have them talk about it. Love seeing the college anglers growing. So I'm assuming this person is interested in starting their own trail and wants to, hear some advice from some tournament directors and stuff. We can make that happen, because and I'm going to actually hand that over to the guys on the Reel Down, because we're coming into the off season, so we don't have a ton of tournaments going on. So that'd be a great show for them to do coming up in the near future here. So hang tight on that, Facebook user, whoever you are. Drop your name in the chat. But let's get the coach in here. The coach.
The coach. The coach.
Jacob Frazier is in the house. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to hop on and talk about our team in lovely East Tennessee.
Yeah, man. It's exciting, dude. I got sent a message from a former Carson-Newman fisherman, Mr. Dan Perry, and he was like, "Hey, man, I got a show for you guys. Are you interested in this?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, dude. This is going to be great." So it's great, man. Obviously, you were in we'll call it the green room, waiting to come into the show. And, you heard what we had to say, and it's super cool that our sport has made it to the college level, man. So why don't you kind of give us a run through on like how this whole thing started, because I know you guys have had a boat team for years. And so how did the whole kayak fishing team come about?
So I'll give a little backstory. So I was part of the first recruiting class at Carson-Newman. I came in 2018. So we've had a lot of success, but we're still a very young program that's still growing and learning a lot. And then my senior year, our head coach, Hunter Sells, came to me and was like, "Hey, would you be interested in sticking around, assisting on the boat side and being a head coach of our kayak team?" And I was kind of caught off guard because I'd been in a boat all my life.
Sure.
But, I love the school, love the university, and I'd love to bring kids in to let them have the same feeling and same experience that I had. So I think we had our first tournament last fall. I got hired on in January, and it's just been rocking and rolling ever since. Seems like it's nonstop.
So were you guys the first school that adopted the kayak fishing team?
No, I think Campbellsville had one a year or a semester before we started.
Okay.
And then we saw that and was like, that's something that we think that we could bring to our area. Our campus is 5 to 10 minutes from Cherokee and 15 minutes from Douglas. So we got a lot of anglers in the area. So we thought that'd be another way to bring more kids into school and get them out on the water.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So, how many schools now are involved in the actual kayak fishing program?
I believe it's at around 5, but I know that I have talked to probably at least 5 more schools here in the last couple months that's saying that they're starting a program. They'd love to get involved. And I'm sure that other coaches at other programs have probably heard from different schools about that too. So really excited for the future in college fishing and college kayak fishing to see how big it can grow, because I really think it will. when you look at, our economy's still kind of high, fuel and stuff still high. So, a lot of people don't have $100,000 laying around to go buy their kid a really nice bass boat and a truck to pull around the country. But it's a lot easier to look at rigging out a kayak for $15,000 and decent vehicle to pull it around with.
No, it totally makes sense. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jackson Orr is on your guys' college fishing team. And everybody knows Jackson, he's a great stand-up kid. And I know he took a lot of grown men's money like myself, and he bought himself a nice bass boat, and he's going to the school there and stuff like that. So super cool to see everything come together. And all right, so I don't know much about college fishing. Like, I kind of follow it a little bit, but is the NCAA is the boat side part of the NCAA? Like, how does that work?
No, it's kind of, at most colleges, it's a club sport. So it's not sanctioned. Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be the same in the kayak, obviously.
Yeah, we're not sanctioned through NCAA. We have our own department now. It's kind of like an outdoor department. I think it's intercollegiate recreational sports.
Very cool.
So that's where the boat side and where I'm at, and we're soon going to be starting a couple new programs, archery, skeet. I think all of that's soon to come. So really excited for the new adventure stuff. We used to be in the athletic department, and it was great. Our offices are right beside the soccer team and basketball team or basketball coaches' offices. So we were in there for a while, and I guess we were kind of sanctioned through it, but now we've kind of ventured away from that and have started a new department.
That just means you guys are a lot cooler than they are. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like the black sheep. We're not sanctioned.
Yeah.
We're outlaws.
We're over here in our own club. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's super cool, man. How many guys do you have on your current kayak fishing team?
I have 8 with me down here right now.
Okay.
Compete for this national championship, and all they had to do was fish one event, and they were qualified. So I got 8 with me now, and still recruiting heavily for next semester to bring in, 5 or 10 more, however many I can find. Who all wants to come, we'll bring them in.
Yeah.
Are you accepting 40-year-olds?
As long as you have not exhausted your 5 years.
I've never been to college, bro. I've never been to college. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to come, more than welcome. Just got to take 12 hours. That's all we ask. Full-time student.
Jay, looks like I'm finally moving to Tennessee, bro.
Yeah, there you go, dude. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. He's not that far from the house. We're good. I would assume like your roster can probably be pretty lengthy because it's all based on qualification anyway, right?
Yeah, for the most part, we can have, we could have as many as we wanted to. I don't really want to get it to be too big, because we're just like our boat team. We pay for everything. So when you come and fish for me, before we leave for a trip, I ask that your trucks are filled up, and then we leave, and you don't pay for anything on the trip. I pay for your entry fees, your food, your housing, your boat snacks. Yeah, we cover everything.
I'm definitely in, dude. Where do I apply?
And you got I wonder.
Dwayne Wally wants in too.
Dwayne Wally wants definitely in. He's like Tourney X.
Tourney X. Do you guys use Tourney X for your tournaments?
We do. Yes, sir.
Nice.
There you go. See, leave him alone, Dwayne. Back off.
Yeah.
They're already on the payroll.
Yeah.
Now and you should. Tourney X is pretty much. There's really nothing that can compete with it.
No, man. It's and that's the thing. Everybody's got their opinions on things, dude. But I've used some of the other ones, man, and by far, Tourney X has been the easiest to use and less hassles and things like that. But that's a whole different show. You know what I mean? But no, it's super cool, man. So, do you guys foresee this like going nationwide, where you'll have a bunch of schools that have kayak divisions and then like maybe have like regionals and then the national event like down the road? I know you guys are obviously in the young growing process now. You got 5 schools involved, but man, I mean, that could be so much more, you know?
Oh yeah, I don't have a doubt in my mind that it's not gonna take off and prosper just like the boat side of things did. Like I remember fishing in high school, my first Bassmaster high school tournament, there was I think 60 something boats at it. And then my senior year there was over 450 registered.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so I don't think that kayak college fishing is gonna have any problem taking off and flourishing. I just think word needs to get out and see what cool opportunities is out there. I think it could be a really, really big deal.
Oh,
Well,
definitely.
and not only that, but you hit it on the head earlier, kayak fishing is way more affordable for a college kid than boat fishing. And that's no knock against the boat guys, you know what I mean? But I mean, I got a daughter in college right now, and it's like every other week, it's like, hey, Dad, miss you, love you. Can you send me $100? You know what I mean? So, like, from that aspect, it's it makes it more doable for those guys and gals, coming up.
That actually brings up a good point too. Like, so I know you're paying for everything. So everybody that's on the team that's going to the tournaments, do you guys have factory kayaks that you have specific, teams or teammates on, or is everyone just bringing their own kayak?
So if you have your own, you're more than welcome to bring your own. I have no problems against it. I think we have 4 people who have their own, and then or 5 people have their own. And then I went out and we've got 3 Hobie Outbacks that we bought at the Doug Outback Tackle down in Georgia. And
Nice.
I have a Carson-Newman wrap on them and everything. And we have boat storage on campus that's locked up, security and stuff. So I keep them in there, and they're welcome to take them out anytime they want.
That's cool.
Dude, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I got a boat. You're gonna wrap it for me too?
Yeah, working
Dude,
on getting graphs put on all of them, so fully
Nice.
rigged out just like everybody else's is.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I was thinking like what if you had like another like level of like the elite status, of the teams, and they get like these nice tricked out kayaks, to do the tournaments in and everything.
Sure.
Yeah, no, everybody. I think I have 4 people in the Outback, and then 4 people in PAs.
Okay.
This week we're fishing for Team of the Year wins an Outback, and overall your team winners of the national championship wins a PA. So hopefully we do
sweet.
good enough. We could be bringing 2 more back to add to the Carson-Newman fleet.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome, dude. And then do those boats stay at the college or do they go to the anglers?
No, they stay at the college. We have, with the boat team, I think we have right now, we have 19 spots on campus. We call them our boat barns. I think we have 7 different buildings. And they all have, big doors on them. They're 30 plus foot deep. Like I said, security systems and all that. So we keep them in there for now and just have a lock on there, and they all share a key. And They got a code system. So if anything ever gets stolen, we can go back and see what code was punched in to see who got it, just in case the cameras didn't catch it.
Sure. That's super cool, man. Yeah. Where was this when I was a kid, dude?
I
know. Well, it's like even in the high school level, right? Like I know down in the South there's some high school kayak fishing teams, and now you're seeing it in the college level. But I mean, even on the boat side of things, high school bass fishing has been kind of bigger down south than it has been up here in the north. And it's like now up here, it seems like every high school's got a bass team and all that stuff.
Well,
and
it's like we said, it's just, it's accessibility. It's like, now, I mean, not everybody can afford that, even a mediocre bass boat, let alone, a freaking glitter rocket, like that's, 100, 120 grand, but kayaks, and we all know you don't have to have big fancy kayak either. You can get by, with our moderate. I mean, we all started in not so kayak fishing kayaks. It's anybody can get it going. So I mean, it's just super accessible, I think, and when there's not that much risk, I mean, there's more schools that are going to take it on, and like the other thing, like when we had Ron Champion on, he was talking about in Georgia, that's starting up in the high schools, and it's it's going to go into the colleges. So I mean, it's it's going to be everywhere, man. It's definitely going to grow. I don't see why it wouldn't. It's easy to put on. All the risk is really on the angler side in terms of purchasing and everything. Like it's all their stuff.
Sure.
So it's like all they got to do is show up, and somebody's just got to run it.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Super
I think
cool.
it's when you look at like not necessarily I guess your pro level or what a kayak pro is, like your BOSs, for example.
Sure.
I think that, it's I'm not going to say it's easy, but I think it's easier to cash checks in that and be profitable than it is in a bass boat. Like we have Ewing Minor on our team, and Ewing's won about 50 grand in the past 2 years fishing out of a kayak.
Yeah, yes.
So, not saying you can't be profitable out of a bass boat, but unless you're one of the few 200 or so professionals, it's hard to actually make a profit in it.
So let me ask you this, right? So, talking about the professional level, are you guys doing anything to prep these kids to make that step after they graduate, like how to promote themselves and build their brands and things like that?
Oh, 100%. I know, like, especially like with our boat side, and we're gonna implement it slowly into the kayak side as well. Like we have our guys attend the Bassmaster Classic and work some of our sponsors booth, help get them connected in the industry. And we're always, especially when they get to junior, senior level, we're always trying to help plug them into different companies that we have or with connections that we have to help get them job lined up. So as soon as they graduate, if they're not fishing, they got somewhere to work. And that's kind of what we're gonna start doing with the kayak stuff too. I want to eventually be able to pay, at least pay for entry fee or something, send my guys to go fish a BOS or a KBF event, whatever they want to do.
Sure. That's huge. So are you going to be able to send them to do that like on the side other than the college tournaments? Is that what you're saying?
It's going to depend on the schedule we have come out. If we're not too busy in the spring, then yeah, I'll allow them to go and fish that and stuff and see what they want to do. Because I feel like the only way you learn is you go and do it. You go and get your teeth kicked in a couple of times, and it makes you a lot better angler. You get mad, you get more determined than you ever have because nobody likes getting beat.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Some of the names you've already dropped that are already at your school have kicked quite a few of us teeth in already. Let's just say that, I mean,
yeah, very, very thankful to have those two on my roster. I'm not being too cocky or anything, but I believe that they're two of the best kayak fishermen for their age group in the country.
Agree with that 100%, man. 100%. I mean, and not only that, but stand up young men, like, very respectful, and they're not bashful. They have a persona to them that is very respectful, which I respect highly.
Yeah, it's something we try to build with all of our anglers and stuff, because it's not that at the end of the day we don't care about how you do, but I care a lot more about the person you are when you come into my program, when you leave my program. I like to make men and women who are better when they leave than when they come in, for society. Just good standout men and women to society.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. Do you guys have any ladies fishing on your team currently?
We do. We actually have one female. Her name is Palmer Heath. She's from Georgia.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's good to see that in our sport, right? Like, fishing has been such a male-dominated sport, and it seems like recently we've had a lot of ladies get involved in really show the boys how to catch fish. You know what I mean? So it's great to see that. It's just not, a bunch of guys. Women can fish just as good, if not better, than a lot of men.
Well,
it's see that.
Yeah, it's like we've said too. It's like you're equal in fishing.
Yeah.
there's no
fish,
upper hand.
the fish don't care what you look like or what gender you are or whatever,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can be like pretty, ugly, fat, skinny. It doesn't matter, man. It's like the
Are
fish
you
don't care.
describing me? Is that what's going on here?
I was
Fat, ugly,
probably in there too. It's opposite day.
Sure. No, it's man, it's so impressive to see what some of these young guys and gals are doing too. It's like I've had conversations with Jackson before. We've had him on the podcast here several times, and just hearing how he breaks down water and things like that. I'm like, I'm 40 years old and I've never even thought about it that way. You know what I mean? And it's cool. It's like it's one of that old saying. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Well, these young kids, I mean, I shouldn't say kids because they're in college, they're men and women, they're teaching us new things every day, which is great. It's great. I love every aspect of that.
Yeah, they're great kids. I'm super proud of them. Super blessed to have them on my team to help lead my team. They show great leadership, and even I got a couple other upperclassmen. They all show great leadership to the younger people, trying to show them, how things are done or how they should go about things. It's really cool to see that.
I like that. So let's talk about this for a second. So say there's a young man or woman out there going to graduate high school this year. Maybe they're already graduated and they'd like to enroll in Carson-Newman and get involved with the kayak fishing team. Like what are the steps? What does that look like?
So there's several different options. You can schedule a visit on our website. It's www.cn.edu, or just type in Carson-Newman University and it'll pop up. Or you can reach out to me. My personal accounts are on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on about everything. Just shoot me a message. Or we actually just opened up a new Facebook page. It's called Carson-Newman University Kayak Eagle Anglers. You can go on there and shoot us a message, and we can get you on campus. That's the first thing I really like to do. I like to talk to them for a little bit and then bring them out on campus for a tour and a visit. And we show them around, show them everything we have to offer, and, just go a lot more in depth about the program.
That's very cool. Very cool. Obviously, you guys are trying to pick up, upstanding citizens and, good folks to be a part of the team there, man. So, it's cool. I mean, I just went through that last year with my daughter, going, visiting a college, making sure that's where she wanted to go, things like that. And she visited a couple, but she knew where she wanted to go. And, thankfully, coach like yourself, met with her and kind of walked her through some stuff and ultimately helped her make her decision, which is great. She's not fishing. She's cheerleading. Sorry, guys. But, I tried to talk her into joining the high school bass team so she could go into that college level of bass fishing. So I'm like, you got one up because you're a lady. You know what I mean? But, and she usually kicks my butt on the water anyways. So it's good to see that. But no, it's super impressive, man. Let's talk about championship now. You guys are down on Lake Hartwell. What's it looking like? You guys just had your second day of practice. Are you guys feeling good about taking home the W, or what are we thinking here?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I don't want to come off, as cocky and stuff and say, yeah, we got it in the bag. But
sure.
I mean, I trust our guys. They're great with decision making. I think they're good enough to go out there Saturday. And if stuff don't start going their way, they're not going to spin themselves out. They know that they can scrap what they have in practice and they can go find fish. I know we got to at least two of them who are averaging between 80 and 85 inches already.
Nice.
So far. And, a couple big ones along the way, they could have a really, really good tournament.
Is it a 1 day event or 2 day?
It's actually a 2-day event.
Okay.
It's
all right.
Saturday and Sunday.
Nice. So does it work where it's individual angler results and then, or is it overall team results?
It's actually a mixture of both. So you do have your overall where everybody, is competing against everybody. And then they also have a team leaderboard as well. And the team leaderboard takes your 5 best fish from everybody on your team, and that's how they decide who wins, like the team aspect of it.
Okay. Is there a big trophy? Stanley Cup of college kayak fishing?
There's for team of the year is a Hobie Outback, and for the championship itself is a Hobie PA. I believe it's a 14, but it might be a 12.
I mean, 12, 14, that's a big trophy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, pretty large trophy.
That's not going to fit inside the car too well.
We need to pull together and get like a big like Stanley Cup trophy that goes from school to school every year. Like we need to make this happen.
Yeah, we actually host me and Campbellsville, we co-host a college tournament every year on Del Hollow, and we have a little trophy. We call it the Battle of the Hollow, and we have engraved on it what inches the school was, and whoever wins it gets to keep it for the year to kind of brag about it a little bit.
I like that. That's cool. It's just you two schools that the two schools just go up and battle it out, or do you guys invite some of the other ones?
Last year it was just us two. It was really Campbellsville versus Carson-Newman. This year I've reached out to a lot of other coaches. They're still kind of unsure of their schedule because it's falling right around finals. So they're not sure, but I think I've already got 3 or 4 colleges committed to coming this year to it. So it should be a great event.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, I know you guys have some things coming up for some scholarships available for some students. And did you want to touch on that a little bit and get the word out on that?
Yeah, we can. We offer one scholarship, and there's another scholarship that we kind of help add to it. And everything at Carson-Newman builds on top of each other. So at some schools you go to, you either take an academic side scholarship or you take your athletic scholarship. At Carson-Newman, everything builds. So what I give you goes on top of whatever, your GPA, your ACT scores, and whatever the school and the federal government gives you. So, yeah.
Very sweet. Very sweet. I don't think I ever took the ACTs or SATs, whatever it is. Does that matter? Can I still get in?
Actually, I think with COVID, I don't think they're requiring it right now. So as long as you got a
there
high
you
school
go.
transcript, we'll be good to go.
I like it. I got my foot in the door. What other restrictions you got on me? I mean, I've never gone to college, so we're good there. Don't need my SATs. I'm not totally dumb. I am very respectful.
Good. That is another thing. We're a Christian university. So not only are we trying to build great men and women, we're trying to, if they're not saved, we're trying to introduce them to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and help them build a relationship with Him as well.
I'm a church man. I'm Methodist. Is Methodist okay? I mean,
that'll be fun.
Look,
dude, I'm working my way in. Here's a great question from Dwayne Wally. Can sponsors or vendors contribute to a scholarship?
Haven't really had that question before, so I'd probably have to take that to to the director of our program. But I'm sure we could implement something in there to kind of help with that. Okay,
all right. That's a great question, man, because I think we get a lot of companies on here, things like that. It's and they're always looking to help contribute to, young men and women in the sport, which could be huge for you guys, help out with some gear or travel costs or something like that, or a scholarship for an individual for a semester, whatever it may be, man. So
absolutely. It's a very expensive sport, and, college isn't cheap either. So we're always open to getting new scholarships and sponsors to support us, allow us to travel and function the way that we function.
Well, yeah, I mean, and realistically, you're going to need outside funding to push any of that stuff. Just in general, and these type of sports kind of walk that line.
Yeah.
Where you're still like on the, you're on the collegiate level, right? So you're adhering to collegiate standards, whatever those might be. But then you've also got the advertising side of things where you have to fundraise to some extent. If depending on what school you're at and how much money's in the budget for whatever, you still got to raise money in other ways. And companies, like Tourney X and other ones, they're always glad to add to that, to grow the sport, because in turn later on that's still a part of the sport as well. So now you have those relationships, and they're building. I mean, really, they're becoming the backbone of, or like an assisted backbone to, the programs that are in place to help, sustain this to get it to the actual pro level.
Sure. Facebook user, which it may still be Tyler Daniels. He did comment earlier. He said, if we can give football players cars and houses, the kids should get baits. I agree with that 100%. Dwayne Wally dropped in. We all want to help this grow. Let us know. Thanks. So Tourney X, I would hit them up when you find that answer out, Jacob. Mm-hmm. It was Matt. Matt is commenting as Facebook user. Our friend Cam Steele from the Faith and Fishing podcast said, not to steal your guest from out underneath y'all, but hey, Jacob, hit me up. Cam's a good guy. Definitely reach out to him after the show, man. You can find him in the show notes. Click on there, message him. Great guy. You would love doing his podcast for sure. Because obviously the title says it all, Faith and Fish, and he talks about both and how they kind of intertwine with each other. So I've been on there before, had a great time. So, dude, amazing stuff you're doing. I mean, so let's ask you this, right? What's been the hardest part of being the coach of some of these college anglers?
The hardest part for me is asking for money. I grew up where I don't know why, but every bit of me hated asking for money. So it's hard for me to go out in the industry and do that. But I mean, these kids they're great. They don't hardly ever give me any issues at all. I really am so blessed to have the job that I have that allows me, to still travel and fish and stuff after, I just did it the past 8 years of my life. It's still great to stay out here and get connected with them and just, hopefully I can inspire them in any way. Sure. And I'm just so thankful that God has given me this platform to use to hopefully spread his word some and just see what we can do.
Super awesome, man. You're molding young men and women, getting them ready to go out into the world, dude. That's a huge thing. Whether you're a teacher or a coach, it doesn't matter. You're still part of that, process, Absolutely. Man. That's huge. So huge kudos to you. I was hoping you're like, man, these guys keep sneaking out of the championship house. They're over at, whatever. I'm just
I mean, kids are going to be kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually shocked. They was all, I feel like I'm an old man now. I'm 22, but I feel old a lot of times. I'm in bed at like 10 o'clock, and I think they all beat me to bed last night.
Oh, wow.
So that was really cool to see. And they was all up, before the crack of dawn, getting after it again this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think generally too, when you run into some, more of the outdoorsy kids, not to knock any of the other ones, the team kids, so to speak, but I think it's from coming from the what's the word, the conservation side of things, like you take things a little more seriously, and and they're doing this for a reason, right? So they're trying to basically build their resume, for the future, and just for the experience too. But I tend to see, again, kids are going to be kids, but they generally are more like low key.
Sure.
You're going to get more of the serious oriented, got to get to bed, because we all know how that is.
Right.
I mean, we've all done, Kentucky Lake, at one time, and you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning to drive an hour and a half somewhere else,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like you got to get that sleep, and they're taking it seriously. That's good though.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, man. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on or throw out there for the good folks watching or listening later on the podcast platforms to know, man? And obviously folks could watch this weekend on Tourney X, right? Of the tournament results and everything.
Yeah, the tournament will be live on Tourney X. I believe it's called Hobie BOS National Championship or something like that, or College National Championship. I feel like we've covered a lot of things. I'm sure that I'm leaving some things out. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact me on any of the social medias. My email is jfrazier at cn.edu. Just reach out to me. We have our boat side page too. If you find it, you can shoot them a message and they'll get it over to me, and I'll be happy to answer anybody's questions about, college kayak fishing or Carson-Newman or anything.
Very cool, man. Dude, I appreciate you taking the time out tonight. I know, you got your team in that house behind you there. They keep popping up in the window. I don't know what they're doing in the hallway there. They haven't made any faces or rude gestures, so you're good.
Yeah.
You're good there. They didn't embarrass you. So, but I'm sure they're all getting ready for bed to get up and get ready to go out, pre-fishing again tomorrow before tournament day. So we'll let you get back to the team, man. I thank you very much. For jumping on and talking with us. And if you or the college or anything, has something coming up in the future, man, feel free to hit us up and help us or let us help you get the word out. So, we could, help get that word out for you guys and help this thing continue to grow and gain momentum and things like that, man. So I don't know any of the other colleges, so I'll be cheering for Carson-Newman this weekend. So, at least you gained a couple fans here on the show. So
I appreciate that. And I appreciate you allowing me to come on and talk for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was awesome. So thankful for that. To help get the word out about college kayak fishing in Carson-Newman. I appreciate that a lot.
Anytime, brother. Anytime, man. Our show is your show. So like I said, if you guys got anything coming up or when you guys got, what's going to happen for next season or whatever, man, let's revisit, let's get you back on and help folks, know about what's going on the college level and kayak fishing, man. It's super cool to see.
It'd be awesome. I'd love to come back on anytime.
Heck yeah, man. Have a good night, brother. We appreciate you. Guys and gals, there you have it. Carson-Newman, go check them out. Watch on Tourney X. Those of you guys listening on the podcast platforms, I'll put the link to the tournament and the college both in the show notes so you guys can check it out and follow along. Wish these guys nothing but luck. They got a bunch of amazing young anglers who are going to go out there and huge congrats to all the rest of the schools as well involved. It's not just one school. It's a lot of different young men and women. So good luck to all of them. Hope you guys are all safe and just have a good time on the water, man. That's what it's all about. So don't forget that. So, Jay, any final thoughts, my friend?
I just want to say, Jake, thanks for coming on, man. It's cool what you're doing. And I think it's great for the sport because as we know, numbers are down. So this kind of stuff is going to bring those numbers up, yep. Bringing the kids back into the mix where they should have been, all along anyway. But this is cool. It's really cool. And I hope you guys do really well. And really just everybody across the board. Yeah. It'd just be nice to see this everywhere, because as Brian says, I wish I had that exposure too. It was there, but it just wasn't everywhere, Sure. So now it's more prevalent and easier. There's just more access, so it's just like anything. It's things have progressed and have gotten better, and they can get even better after, from here.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So
I'll see you in the fall semester, Coach.
All right.
Yeah. He'll be crashing at my house.
Maybe even spring, right? Do you guys fish in spring? I forgot to ask you that.
Yeah. Spring's typically our busiest time of the year.
I'll see you for the spring semester, Coach.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds
Coach
good. Love to have you.
But come get that spawn on Cherokee.
Yeah. I love it. Thanks everybody that tuned in. Those of you listening on the podcast platforms, thanks as always, man. We appreciate you guys. Do us a favor, share this show up, share it with friends, family, any of your buddies that you're involved in the outdoors with, man. It's a very, very cool thing to see, and looking forward to see the expansion of this program at the college level. And we appreciate you all. We'll see you guys next Thursday. We're here live every Thursday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. Till next time, boys and girls, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You can support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures, your Midwest premier paddle sports destination. Go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle boxes today.